It's not great. It's really not that good, but it's okay, and it's mine. So I actually love this thing. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're new around here, this is a great place to get a good start. We do a bunch of different content, everything from RC cars to BeamNG Drive to pretty much anything else I want to do. So today we're going to be talking about the AXIAL SCX6 that I have sitting in front of me that I have deemed the car I never should have built, because this one here it's a big boy and it's a big price tag. I'll tell you that right off the gate, but so far so good. I love this machine, and we're going to do a deep dive into the parts I had and the experience that I've had with it so far. First things first, obviously you'll notice orange Jeep body here. I'm going to try and get it where this guy recognizes the Jeep and wants to focus on that. Perfect. We have a custom painted orange Jeep body. This is the first time I've ever custom painted anything. I actually think it turned out pretty good. I did DOT brake cleaner to take the green JLU body. I just soaked it in brake cleaner and it was able to wipe off all the green paint. I did like 5 or 6 coats of orange, taped everything up, obviously, took all the plastics out, whatnot, took the fenders off. 5 coats of orange, and then 5 coats of gray on the inside, some Krylon gloss gray, and it made it really nice, not transparent. Really like this. Painting this was super satisfying. First time I've ever painted a body like this. It's how I'll paint bodies from this point on. So let's talk about the truck. Let's start with the chassis first, because obviously that is the most interesting part probably of this entire thing here is the chassis. So what I did was I knew that I wanted to have something custom. I didn't really want to build another rock bouncer. I didn't really want to go completely ground up, so I went off of the frame rails. If you're going to build something like this, I'll kind of throw in some tidbits here and there about it. The frame rails are awesome, but there are 2 pieces for the front and rear, and you can see on this side here, I just essentially cut the frame rails off right there, both of them. So the secondary frame rail that makes up the back half of the chassis is still in there, it's just cut off. You can actually see on this side where I left some of that frame rail sticking out. You can see it's right here. Give you some contrast there. So use both frame rails if you want to do something closer to what I did. And yeah, it's really good. This was my first time welding. I am not a professional welder. Went out and bought a Harbor Freight little core flux welder, really simple, and just did my best. I think I have, on all my welding stuff, I have like $300 or $400 total. It's great. I'm going to probably build some more chassis again. The chassis itself is made out of 1/4 inch steel rod for the main bars here, both here and this baseline, and my lowers. I know that my wires are a little messy. This is kind of an interim video until I get everything finished, so kind of just ignore the mess up here. Down below, 1/4 inch, and then 3/16 everywhere else for these support bars that you see here. What I did is, obviously battery location is a big thing I was taking into account when I built this chassis, so I kind of reused the whole idea of the stock locations on like the little boat sides here. And then I took a piece of 3/16 inch steel and welded it to give me some nice little skid plates and also a nice place to put my battery. It also made a bunch of extra weight down low, which was really nice. The chassis is not super straight, not square. It is really not straight. It is like it's a super homo chassis. I'll say it like that. It is covered in steel in case I needed to come back and weld some more on top of it, and it uses RC fab tabs for my skins here that I have on here. Other than that, chassis-wise, it's the same from the front up. I did cut the front of the chassis completely off, right up to the steering locations there. I wish it would. There we go. So you can see the front of it is chopped right up to the front towers there. Left pretty much everything up there stock, because I knew that I didn't want to run a servo on axle mount. I knew that I wanted to keep the pan hard and the 3-link setup up here, but that's pretty much that for the chassis. This thing was fun to build. If you're on the fence about getting a welder and trying it yourself, do it. If you have $300-400, I'll post a link to the Harbor Freight welder that I had in the description below. I had a good time. Just be safe, don't burn your house down. So let's start at the front, work our ways back. Tires. We are running Proline Hyrax tires. Up until recently, I was running the stock AXIAL BFG tires with anti-foams in those. These Hyrax have steady foams. I have an entire video coming out that's comparing both of those, but to be honest with you, to give you the short and dirty, the real difference between the two is the steady foams are a little bit softer and they have some side give here. If you see that tire's bulging right there, I can even use my jack stand here. So for the tire itself, you can see that it's nice and round. It's not as square. The steady or the anti-foams are very square right here, and there's absolutely no give in that side of the anti-foam. But with the steady foam, there is a little bit of give here. You can see there's a little bit of movement here, So it's a really good tire. Obviously, the 6, one of the most important things is changing the foams. So the foams for steady foams, great upgrade. I will have some running footage of this at some point, probably not in this video, but I do have comparison footage of both the anti-foams and the steady foams side by side. If I had to pick, if your rig is super heavy and you don't want it to roll over at all and have almost no tire bulge, probably say the anti-foams. Something a little bit closer to like a real scale style of driving, what you're used to seeing in 1.9 and 2.2s, I would probably say steady foams will be your jam. Steady foams are a little bit cheaper. Both of them are a pain to mount. It's just a big foam. It's hard to get in there. It's hard to get, it's a lot of foam in there. The anti-foam is like really hard just to get crushed down. It's not really hard, but it's time consuming. The stock wheels and tires are perfect. I don't see a need to really upgrade those other than for aesthetics. So I'm really happy with this combo. I like it. The front axle that you'll notice is aftermarket here. This is just some random direct replacement axle I got off eBay from China, and I have Samix 9mm brass hubs in the front. This axle is junk. Not complete junk, but the mounting point for the upper link and the 3-link, it's in the wrong spot from this axle that they made. So I had to make a custom rod in for it. And you can see it right here. So that is 1/4-inch rod that is shorter than the stock length, and it just reuses the stock rod ends. I've been talking with the guys who make that, and the communication barrier has just been a little tough. They say that I have to use all their rod set and all this and that, but it doesn't really say that on any of the stuff. So I think it's just confusion. But everything else is good. Gears came greased. Axles are fine. Everything's fine except for having to make a custom link. Shocks and springs, I'm using the completely stock setup. Totally fine. Servo. I am using an NSDRC RS 2500 V2. I was gonna wait for the shift servo, the X5, but it was out of stock and I just wanted to try something new. Fast shipping from NSDRC, not sponsored by them, fast shipping. Once I get this thing plugged in, it'll be great. Why did I have to buy an aftermarket servo? Well, if you can't tell already, I'm using front and rear steer, and I originally had 2 stock servos in here, and the ESC just didn't generate enough power. So I needed to go to direct power, and I didn't really want to have one really strong servo and then one really not strong servo. So I went ahead and bought 2 of them and got them front and rear. The NSDRC is on the back axle, and this is the stock front axle, just moved to the back. The solid or the servo on axle mount here is from G-Speed, just like everybody else is using. And let me get this. This thing is so big. you will have to make a custom tie rod link here that comes off the servo. Again, 1/4 inch threaded rod, reusing the stock rod ends. So G-speed servo and axle mount, it's fine, nothing crazy, it gets the job done. It does require a 4-link, and you can see that I had to make a custom 4th link there to clear the axle. Actually right there you can see that I had to bend it and everything to make it work. It has clearance issues with the stock drive shaft if you just let it do its thing. So yeah, I went ahead and made a custom link there. Electronics in this vehicle are stock other than the servos. Now I'm running 2 direct power servos, so I have a like an adapter that is this one's IC5 adapter with 2 JST plugs for 2 direct power servos, and I'll be running that into a EC5 6500 milliamp LiPo dual parallel system. So it's going to have quite the duration of runtime, and it's going to also have quite the power with 4S as well. There's going to be a battery on the right and the left because there is 2 sets of both sides here, so there'll be a battery on this side and this side. I'm really excited to try that out. The SCX6 stock right off the rip was one of my favorite machines without a doubt. It is the scale is perfect. I would not go back to 1/10 if there was complete full support for 1/6 stuff already. I still have a couple of 1/10 cars that I have some videos about that are coming out soon, but long story short, it's okay. That's pretty much it. This thing is awesome. I'm really excited. I haven't tested the servos out. I have tested the rear steer. The rear steer is cool. I'm running a DX5C from Spectrum to pair all this system nice and neat, and everything's pretty good. So I'm excited to get out and make some running videos of this thing. And the skins that I made are from really thin aluminum. There you go. And it was polished aluminum, and I just took a steel wheel and brushed it off there and just made it a little brushed look. But it's really great. I'll have some running footage, like I said, sometime soon, but the SCX6 is my favorite platform to build on. Once you go big, you will never go back. I have 1/10 cars, like I said, but they're nowhere near as fun. So this is a great machine. I'm running stock drive shafts, stock, well, the receiver is for the 5X DX5C, and everything's great. I love this car. It's really, really good. And to be honest with you, it doesn't look the best. I don't think that's any real shocker by this point in the video, but I do think that it is a lot of fun. Let's see if I can't get this looking a little nicer while it sits here. Things aren't square, they don't line up perfectly. You have to kind of finagle with it to get it to match and whatnot, but it is a lot of fun. And I will say this, having built it myself, the most fun part was the fact that I have built it myself. I will start not doing mass production cages or anything like that, but I'll probably build myself some more. It took a lot of time, but man, was it fun. I have really high hopes for this car. Obviously, I've got quite a bit of funds invested in this one, but yeah, it's good. So my question for you guys is, how have you enjoyed your SCX6? What do you think I should do with this thing next? And I don't know. What else can I do? I feel like I'm at the end of this. I feel like I'm at the end of all of the fun, but I'm excited to get some running footage of it. And yeah, it's not polished, not great, but it is mine, and I love it. It's really, really fun. So make sure that you guys are following the channel. Let me know your thoughts. If you think it's crap, let me know it's crap. If you think it's the coolest thing in the world, let me know, because I think that it's really cool when you guys chime in, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes next for this car. So thanks everybody. I'll see you next time.